What is going on, guys? It is Dylan here. Today we'll be going over a ticker symbol analysis on the ticker symbol TSLA. Tesla. Tesla's just been a very strong stock, guys, since breaking that massive 295 neckline. We've really seen that confirmation all the way to 350, according pulling back of this beautiful support zone, potentially teasing that next leg up to go to these 380 levels and higher. Right, looking at the overall market, you see it kind of slouch down a little bit. While Tesla is just being very, very nice, guys, moving horizontally, not really any pullbacks whatsoever. With that being said, guys, we'll be using a variety of different technical analysis techniques on a multiple different time frame analysis to get a very broad perspective of what the stock may do within the next few days and or weeks. With that being said, guys, let's go start our analysis over on the weekly time frame. So on Tesla weekly chart, we have been mentioning since down to these lows around 270. This is just the most major spot, Tesla has, with a whole lot of negative news and just a lot of negative action in the market, really pulling Tesla's stock chart down a little bit too much, in my opinion, right down about 50% retracement and, brought it back down to this major low. So you would expect this to be the area where we start to see that next big move up. And that's what we've been mentioning on the channel, guys, having that 1, 2, 3, 4 schematic, 4 being somewhere within this, high region. It's hard to say an exact dollar to it. If anyone says that, guys, they're kind of lying, We can look ahead as a rough general area, but with a big schematic like this, we're aiming somewhere within these highs. And we've been mentioning that on the channel really ever since this 270 level is a possibility. Once we had this nice big bullish engulfing on the weekly time frame, completely encapsulating every single one of these candles, that was the green light sign. And we had a couple weekly consolidation pressing at the top, really just building energy for that next big movement from this very bullish action over here, guys. And that's what we've seen. So we've been very spot on the ball with the weekly time frame of Tesla. And we've only seen one green candle move up since then. So you would expect at least, a movement within this range. From the bottom to the top, you would expect at least a range movement. So around that, 380 level lines up very, very nice. I think that's a very realistic long-term price target. Could be easily reached within the next week or two. Wouldn't really surprise me, but it could take a little bit longer, especially to get to these, 420, 430 levels. But as far as a weekly perspective, guys, we're definitely bullish on Tesla stock chart. Even if we want to look at things extremely fundamental, right? We'd come down to this big support, big run up. We come down to this major support. We have that huge trampoline effect to retest these highs. So we're definitely seeing that, happen on Tesla around, like we said, 30, 40% of this run up. Definitely feel there's more room to come. When we zoom into the current candle, we do have the inverted hammer candle on the weekly, which is a negative bearish reversal sign, but considering the signs, guys, all the context, really not too worried. The candle couldn't even quite flip red. And we've only moved down about $10 from these highs where sellers pushed the stock down where we closed around 339. So despite seeing a little bit of a weekly, inverted hammer candle, really not too concerned, guys. Not every single candle of a run up, especially on a weekly perspective, has to be bullish, right? You could have made the argument over here that we topped out at this high and we're starting to move down, blah, blah, blah. So let's not overanalyze stuff we don't have to. So as of now, there's no negative indication that this run is over. Maybe if we see a couple more candles to come in and really, a big bearish engulfing, maybe it's a little bit different then. But as of now, guys, I'm definitely not worried as far as the weekly structure of the current weekly candle. So definitely feeling bullish, guys. We're aiming for somewhere around these highs. It is a pretty steep price target. We typically don't aim that high in the channel, as we keep it very, very conservative. We like to have a very accurate hit rate, which we do over here on the channel, right? Using a bunch of various technical analysis techniques. But, we've remained the stance, guys, even from down these levels, and we're a good bit up, since we've reached there. So the opinion is not going to change, guys. I definitely feel on a weekly perspective, we are very bullish. With that being said, let's go move over to the daily to get a little bit more of a medium-term analysis. So on the daily time frame, guys, since this very nice inverted head and shoulders, bull flag breakout at this red thin candle here, we pushed up right above that. We have seen the follow through, right? We broke that 295 level, which is now blue because there could be support if we do come back down to it. I do think it is unlikely, but that was the most major level in the stock, really since these lows over here, around that 324 zone, somewhere in that area. So, we have seen the follow through, right? Come up, bull flag, getting tight, breakout. And we're seeing a very simple thing, guys, right? So sometimes we look at stocks and they're a little bit more complicated. It's a little bit more of a interesting data points, really conflicting information from each side. But as of now, guys, it really is quite simple. We mentioned in the last video, this big inverted hammer candle, that we're likely just to come back and kind of just flag out. As we've seen a flag here, come down, big breakout. And when stocks are very strong, after a nice bull flag breakout, especially breaking from this 295, range, you would expect potentially that flag to happen, especially after getting this flagpole-like structure we have here. So once that 350 is effectively held very strong, right? Not like a little close over it on the daily or wick out. Once stock really gets over that and shows some strength, guys, we should be easily moving to 362, and then if that breaks, 380. But definitely got to like what you're seeing as far as the daily perspective, guys. In the last video, we were mentioning that this flag could be formed, and now we're really seeing it in full effect. And this flag is being formed, guys, at the support level. We zoom in a little bit closer, you get a better image of that. We came all the way back down to these lows where we pressed once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So a whole lot of touch points in this general area, guys, as we do that marked up. Maybe we do, move a little bit lower once we break that 331, 333 range very clean, potentially, guys. But as of now, I do think it's very realistic that maybe we play out for another day or two before eventually breaking out of this flag and seeing an upward momentum, especially going back to QQQ as of now, right? Having a little bit of a rounding top. But realistically, guys, we're just setting another higher low along this trend line. So, unless we get some very big new data to come in, like a bull's massive movement and really shift up the stock, it does seem quite predictable as of now. The bull flag continuation pattern continuing to play out, and this should lead us to the next higher zone. So definitely like the way Tesla is looking as far as a daily perspective. Keep an eye on this bottom of the flag. We'll be covering that as this transpires. In the top, really being the top of this wick over here, but we'll really be watching 350, guys. That's going to be the major breakout level. So as far as the daily perspective, guys, not really seeing much bearish action at all. Got to be bullish. So let's go move over to the hourly chart. Buyers get a very nice big surge, right? Very nice big surge. Stock goes sideways. Sellers try with this descending resistance to move the stock down, but really not a whole lot of presence before buyers shove it back up and break up higher. So that's what we continue to see, guys. Instead of seeing that, pennant-like formation where this tight squeeze at the end, we have more of a channel now, right? As we're moving down in this channel. So there definitely is a little bit more questionability as far as when it will break. Because in these formation, guys, we're trading sideways, right? We're not squeezing super tight at the end and ready to pop, right? When we get to the end, you have to pick a side, either down or up. Typically, you move up. There's more room to the up as the move is going up, right? But as of now, we are in this channel, and theoretically, we could continue to play out with this maybe for another couple days, guys. Maybe for another 3-4 days. I do think it is improbable. If you ask me, just off my trading experience, how long I've been trading, seeing these structures over years and years and years, trading Tesla for a long time, guys. I don't think it's more likely we get more than 1 or 2 more days, but, you can't say for 100% fact as we are trading sideways. So in theory, this channel does have a lot of room to go. So we will see what happens with this channel. But as of now, once again, guys, the buyers have showed the strength, really moving up, setting that flagpole-like structure. So, we have a bullish bias, guys. So if we do break the bottom of this channel, we will move down to that 322 zone, very, very likely as the spot. But as of now, guys, we just got to watch this. So that's really the main takeaways we get from the hourly. Usually we make these videos a little bit longer, guys. That's all we're really watching as of now. On the channel, we will be covering this bull flag from, around a couple times a week. Once this bull flag does break, we'll be soon to make a video. But once again, guys, we're seeing that consolidation right back in the same zone. It got previously confirmed to the bottom. You've seen a massive movement. Boom, a very big massive movement. In the past, this consolidation got confirmed to the top. And we've seen another massive movement. So does that mean we have to have this huge bullish breakout to, 460? I'm not quite saying that, guys, but it's very realistic to get to these 380, $400 psychological levels. There's a very, very good implied probability, guys. So with that being said, if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, all that. We should give you guys a little bit more, but let's stick to the fundamentals, guys. If you found any value in the video, like, subscribe, all that will be covering a couple times a week. Hope you have a good day. Take care. Happy trading, and peace.